The first time I met Mike was behind the camera. I was at a Temple Update and I was on air, and behind the camera was this gentleman, Mike. Right after school ended, the first thing he said was, "I want to take the Steadicam workshop."
Mike O'Shea appeared at a Steadicam workshop. Mike stood out immediately, first of all, because he was very physical and very direct. He tells you exactly what he thinks, which is rare and priceless. And I'm thinking, who was the one who was the most intuitive and there and helpful guy almost I'd ever met? It was Mike O'Shea. I called Mike up, said, "Hey, you want to work for me and help me get to the Olympics?" "Yeah, sure."
Shortly after Mike, I think, took the workshop, Mike started working for Garrett's company, the Moving and Talking Picture Company, and helping Garrett put together the equipment to deliver 4 Skycams, 12 GoCams, Divecam, and MobiCam at the Olympics in 1996. Mike, with his experience as a stagehand and the experience he had as a climber, sometimes he was the guy up in the light stanchion, climbing, harnessed in, hanging the rigging and the pick points and the pulley positions.
Very soon, Mike started instructing Steadicam workshops, and he was terrific at it. And he's been doing it for now, I think, nearly 20 years. He is one of the best in the business. And the fact that none of it has gone to his head. He's still O'Shea from Springfield.
We're blessed that his phone doesn't stop ringing, so he must be good at what he does. Mike currently is working on Jessica Jones, the series. He's so humble. He's just really giving, and sometimes to a fault. He's a huge pay it forward kind of guy, and he will never forget.
I know a number of people that they wouldn't be doing what they're doing right now if Mike didn't give them the opportunity, didn't pass on the knowledge that he had. That's something so special about Mike, how generous he was with his knowledge, his equipment, and the opportunity that he gave others around him to pursue that passion as Steadicam operators.
I may be a mentor to him, but here's a case where the mentor wouldn't have had much of a career if the mentee hadn't showed up. Mike immediately said, "Let's get Pat Hally. You need this guy."
Mike and Pat met at Temple University.
I met Pat Hally in a Temple Update. This is when we were all photographers, reporters, writers. Pat was in a band called Hurdy Gurdy.
Mike often could be seen hanging out with Pat, helping him film music videos.
We met at the passport office. He just happened to sit down next to me. He likes to talk. I like to talk. We talked a lot, and it's history from there.
I just remember him always being kind of goofy. He always wore a baseball hat. He had long hair.
Pat Hally showed up on Mike O'Shea's recommendation to take the only other slot that I had at the time to help me get to the Atlanta Olympics. Pat Hally was another Mike, a gifted shooter, a great eye, but immediately a great tinkerer, somebody that knew tools and had built stuff.
I remember that they took that Steadicam course. I remember Garrett Brown saying, "Hey, I'm working on this new diving cam." And that's when I know Mike and I believe Pat went too down to work on this camera together.
He worked on the Divecam, which debuted at the Olympics. He's been to the Olympics so many times, and all kinds of snow events where it's snowboarding, skiing, game day, has been huge. Pat's been doing the game day show for the last few years, and he's very proud of that because it kind of started, and even the camera system itself, it kind of evolved, and he's improved it so much. He's gotten some of the most epic shots with the guys driving and riding off of the big board.
Mike and Pat were always seemed to be together. Mike would be kind of more the serious one, and Pat would be the funny one. Until I realized Pat has a lot of talent.
Pat took over the Flycam and has made a huge success out of this. Pat is extremely technical and very clever about it. And as it turns out, very inventive. He's one of my heroes because he took an invention of mine and doubled down on it twice over and made it something really good. What I cherish about both of these guys, above all, is that in the clutch, when you're absolutely up against it, they are the best two souls on earth that I've ever met to have, left and right, behind you, beside you, and ahead of you, making waves.